Nima.
And I'm Elvira.
And welcome back to Girls
Uncensored.
So, today we wanted to discuss how long is too long for your partner to propose.
Or how do you know when you want to spend the rest of your life with this person?
Lots to unpack with this one. Let's get ready.
All right. So, personally, me, I kind of believe in love at first sight.
I do too.
So, I feel like if you know, like, you should know from the beginning. Like, how do I say this? Like, even after you get to know the person, after, like, let's say a couple dates, and you, like, seen red flags or whatever, or, like, let's say you accept them for who they are, like, right then and there, you decided, like, that this is your person.
Basically.
Because you already seen their insecurities, or they're bad and they're good. So it's like, you should know from the beginning.
So what's your time frame? Like, let's say you're dating or whatever, for a couple months, and you've seen their red flags and you've basically accepted them. Like, I completely understand what you're saying, and I absolutely agree. But it's like, how long? Like, let's say you're dating and more red flags come and you're accepting those red flags. Like, how long is too long for you to stay with this person and not be engaged to, or like get a ring or whatever?
I think a good time would be 3 years. And I say 3 because the relationship has to go through stages, It has to go to, like, if y'all make it to the moving stage.
Right, the honeymoon.
No, like, y'all living together. And y'all stay living together for a year and y'all still, like, fuck with each other after living together. That's how you know. Because, you could get to know a person, but then once you get in their house and see how they wash dishes, or basically how they operate. So it's like, if you accept them at that point, then you should know, like, this is the person I want to be with. But it's also complicated because I feel like some relationships go through things too early on. And then they feel like, like they're strong for surviving it, but they're just like trauma bonds. You understand? Like, two broken-hearted people come together, they move right in because they both already been in long relationships, so they try to, like,
get it on, like, meet your person.
And then once you move in, that's it. And the worst one is when they jump in to having babies. Like, I see all these success stories about, we dated for 3 months and I ended up pregnant, usually with the younger crowd. And I ended up pregnant, but he's staying and we're going to make it work. So you're willing to have a child, put your own life at risk, change your body, but you don't think you're ready to marry this person? How does the child come before the commitment? Because forget the ring. Marriage to me is commitment. Like, wholeheartedly know that this person will always be there. Like, the ring is for funsies. Like, this is a symbol,
a statement. I'm taken.
Yeah, right. That's literally what it is. So I feel like it needs to be, like, just know what you're getting yourself into, because I feel like it's just crazy that you would birth whole child.
It's backwards is what it is.
You're not married, you're unsure if this is your person, or maybe you know and they don't know.
Right.
And then y'all not having this conversation. Like, I feel like when girls find out that they're pregnant and they're not in a serious relationship, they just tell them, like, I'm pregnant, like, how do we move from here? I feel like they're not necessarily talking about the relationship, but using that as, like, how can I explain this? Like, when they find out that they're pregnant, they don't feel like, how's the relationship gonna move from here? Now they're just, everything's about the kid. And, they use it against the guy or vice versa.
As like leverage, basically. So it's like, I have something over you.
Yes, and then this is why some people feel trapped. Yes, I was just leading to that. When some people feel like, like, oh, damn, like, I can't leave now, but I also didn't want to stay with this
Right,
person.
and didn't want a child either.
And then they
Right.
keep it. And then some girls, they keep it because, you know, whatever their situation might be, they think that they won't have baby again. This, that, and that. Whatever the reason is, I just feel like their first thought is never how it's gonna change
their life.
You know, it's
their
like
own individual personal life.
Yes, because it's like you're putting yourself at risk.
Yeah.
You saw that story about that mom? She had a stroke while giving birth.
No.
And she's a vegetable right now. And the baby is healthy as hell. The baby is fine. God. But, you know, she's married or whatever. The husband is still in the picture or whatever. But in the replies, people was like, you know, and girls are just popping out babies for anybody out here. It may have
been like a high-risk pregnancy, and she chose to go along and go ahead and birth that child, knowing that like she would have consequences or possibly
but it's like
could end up
with
birth defects or whatever.
She did that, or
choice.
Obviously, she did that, but with a loving husband, with an already established relationship, with a family,
with a commitment, a foundation.
Yes, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That people just need to hold themselves at higher regards when going into relationships with people, because I feel like you can't just date somebody from 10 years
and not get anything out of it, unless that was like already established that you guys.
But yes, dating, like if y'all communicated that, like, you know, we both don't agree with marriage because we grew up divorced parents, whatever the case might be.
We don't want anything, like, you know, like as long as I feel like that's discussed between you two from the jump, and I mean from the very first day, first link up.
Of course.
Like honestly, I feel like my problem with this whole dating scheme and this whole dating aspect, and why I don't necessarily want to wholeheartedly throw myself in there, is because I've been in other past relationships where I have been proposed to, where I have been engaged, and I have been that fiance. But it's like you said, you notice these red flags, and you're already living with this person, and you basically just you accept them. You're growing to love them. So it's like when you're growing to love someone, it is very fast. Things do escalate, and they move rapidly. You guys move in. You guys should have had those conversations about marriage, about kids, and all that. And I feel like where a lot of women in this day and age go wrong is that they don't stick to their values and boundaries. You know, like if you're a woman that, you know, you're seeing all these red flags in a man, and those red flags are something that you can get over or basically process yourself through, then that's fine. If it's things that you can't, then I feel like you should end the relationship automatically. I don't give a fuck what stage y'all in, honeymoon, or y'all in the trials and tribulation stage, or y'all in the I'm getting engaged stage and we about to get married 3 months later. If something comes up in that time, I feel like we as women literally, we coddle too much. We lean in and we literally pour ourselves into this man because you've already established that he's mine. And I'm okay with living with this person. I'm okay with taking in all of their hurt and trauma and all of that. Like, no matter what point you in, if that person crosses a boundary, y'all need to reevaluate everything that y'all have. And I feel like if there's no foundation, a foundation meaning that you guys are basically having
on the same page.
Yeah, on the same page. Like y'all gotta be on the same page. Like you can't have one without the other. So I feel like you can't even be in a relationship without that, like without knowing that the other person wants to be fully 100% committed to you. So I feel like there isn't necessarily like, you know, let me take that back. There is a time range. And I feel like my time range, especially from dealing with men that I've dealt with in the past and the men that I personally like and like to attract, I know when a man wants me to be his girlfriend or his more than a girlfriend. And I feel like that time range is like a year plus. A year, I would say I would give it a year to 3 years. In that time range, a man automatically knows whether or not he wants to marry you. Like it's quite simple. All of these 10, 7-year relationships and stuff like that is because one person in the relationship has a foot in the relationship and a foot out the door. So it's like if you have a foot out the door, any point in time you could come to me and tell me, hey, I'm not feeling this. I'm not invested. That's the shit I don't.
That's
do that.
true. But you know what? I feel like people have the most problems, and like once they realize it, they're like, well, now I have to stay or whatever. And I would say this is a stereotype where people feel like, oh, I love this person the way they are, or like I love them the way they are. I shouldn't want to change anything about that. And I feel like that's wrong, because when you're in a relationship, you're supposed to change. You're supposed to grow together, impact each other. People feel like, oh, like if I didn't fall in love with you the way you are, then I don't really love you. And it's like, necessarily no.
And I feel like it's because people have that mentality of coming into a relationship with not 100% of themselves.
Mhm.
Like, if you come to a relationship with 75 and I'm coming with 100, I'm always going to find out more things about you.
Of course.
Like, like because you weren't being upfront in the beginning.
Mhm.
So it's like, I can love you for who you are, but I only know who you are based off of
what you're giving, what you're putting out, what you're sharing.
Right.
So I feel like if everybody's just upfront from the beginning.
Yeah, get the Dragon Ball Z's out in you, like for real.
Like just share what you want when you start dating. Like I do it. When the boys be asking their 21 questions, if they don't ask that, I'd be like, so like, what are you looking for? 'Cause I know what I want. Like if you don't know what you want, cool, I'm gonna go on. This is like how dating is supposed to be. Not supposed to be jumping from person to person. I mean, if you're doing that, cool, that's you. Right. But at some point, people, like I said, I believe in love at first sight. So it's like you would know, and maybe you don't want to propose so soon. Some people do, and they're successful relationship where they dated 2 months and they got married and they're striving right now, which is obviously evidence of love at first sight. But if it takes you a year or two to figure out you want to be with this person, like that's fine. But I really feel like 3 years is the threshold. Like if y'all been together for 10 years and this person hasn't committed to you, even if they've been loyal throughout the whole relationship, it's just about the security and feeling good. Like I don't necessarily want to say that you have to get married, because not everybody wants that public party, all of that. Nobody wants not everybody wants a ring, but I feel like there should be something more intimate where this person reassures you, like undoubtedly you are the only person for me.
Right. Absolutely.
And then you move from there, but I just don't think it should take you 5+ years to know if this is the person for you.
Yeah, I 100% wholeheartedly agree. I just do. And I feel like you literally just said it all. Like there's nothing else that needs to be said, because if I'm in a committed relationship and I know that I'm in a committed relationship, my next question will be, how are we actually making this official? I mean, if we decide not to make it official, then that's between me and you,
Right.
But it's like, yeah, you would want that sense of security, especially, I mean, as a woman and as a man, I don't care what you identify as. You would want that security. You would want to know that your person is actually your person, and they're gonna be there to hold you down for however long you're alive, basically. So, yeah, honestly, I would. My last piece of advice would be basically vet better. Ask those important questions
from the beginning, not later on.
It's never too early to ask those questions, no matter how it may seem. And I feel like them answering those questions will give you the indicator that, okay, this person is for me. All right, this person may not be for me, and how do I move on from that? And she touched upon hopping around from relationship to relationship. I feel like a lot of us do this where it's like, okay, I was invested in this person, it didn't go well, let me try again. I know that burning desire to want to have a connection, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like you also need to allow yourself some grace, some mercy, some patience to actually get back to yourself, see what it is that you actually need to put forth within you so that you can be 100%, so that you can meet someone else that is
100%.
100%.
And I feel like a lot of people do that.
As each 100%, and y'all come together, it's still 100%. Feel me? 50-50 makes 100, but it's completely different because y'all lack it. Feel me? So it's like, make it click. Make it click. And yeah, that's it. Any more words of advice for our fellow travelers?
No, I just feel like, be honest, be sure in yourself. You know, you come first, and then this person that you potentially want to spend the rest of your life with. But you got to know, like, you're 100% yourself making this decision. You know, you're not influenced by outsiders.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
Yeah, and that's it. So we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, and let's keep this conversation going. Thank you.
Thank you.